It begins with a weight you can't see but can feel in every inch of your skin. It's the kind of pressure that doesn't scream, it whispers. It sits on your shoulders, it coils around your thoughts, and it makes you second guess every move you make. You walk into a room and there's a pause, not long enough for anyone else to notice, but long enough for you to feel it. The air changes, eyes shift, conversations warp in tone. You know something's off, but you can't quite name it. It's not fear exactly, it's awareness, a strange, cold awareness that you are not alone in your steps. You tell yourself it's nothing, just in your head, just nerves. But then the patterns start to show. Words that feel like they were crafted just for you. Glances that linger a little too long. People remembering details you never told them. It's like your life is being read aloud from a book you didn't even know existed. And for a while you play along. You smile, you nod. You pretend you don't notice the quiet collection of your mistakes, your habits, your weaknesses. But deep inside, something is building. Something they can't see. A pressure not of fear, but of fire. You don't know when it started. Maybe it was the first time someone laughed at your ambition. Maybe it was the moment you realized they weren't cheering for you, they were keeping score. Every step you've taken, every word you've spoken, measured, weighed, and stored. And here's the truth no one tells you: being watched is not the danger. The danger is forgetting who you are while they watch. The real threat is giving them the pen to write your story while you stand there, hands empty, convinced you can't take it back. But you can, and you will. This is not just a speech. This is a mirror, a place where you get to see yourself without their fingerprints all over you. This is the moment where the quiet version of you dies and the untouchable one is born. You've been walking around thinking they have the advantage, thinking they've mapped out your every move. What you don't know is that their map is already outdated, because you're not the same person they started watching. You've changed in ways they can't detect. You've been building in silence, piece by piece, brick by brick, not for the sake of revenge, but for the sake of never needing it. They think they know your game. They think they know your limits. But the truth is, the moment you stop caring about being understood is the moment you become unstoppable. So take a breath, let the noise fade. Feel the weight of every stare, every judgment, every assumption, and then let it burn into something greater. This is your story now. You are not here to prove them wrong. You are here to prove yourself unstoppable. It doesn't happen with a loud bang. It's not some cinematic explosion where everything changes in one dramatic flash. No, it's quieter than that. It's almost disappointing how ordinary it feels when the truth finally clicks in your head. You're standing there, maybe in a room full of people, maybe walking down a street you've crossed 1,000 times, and suddenly something in your gut shifts. You look around and the world isn't the same shade anymore. It's like you've been watching life through a fogged-up glass, and now someone's wiped it clean. You see things you've missed for years. The way certain people lean in when you speak, not to listen but to collect. The way someone's smile doesn't reach their eye. The way conversations dry up just before you arrive, leaving a silence too heavy to be innocent. It's that moment when you realize you've been living in an observation. You thought you were free, but you've been in the middle of a quiet experiment. Your every move recorded in the margins of someone else's notebook. Every choice, every weakness, every hesitation noted. And the worst part, you let it happen because you didn't know the game was even being played. But here's the twist. This realization isn't meant to crush you. No. This is the beginning of your rebirth. This is the crack in the glass that lets the light pour through. You finally see the structure of the trap, the outline of the bars. You see the invisible chains you've been wearing, the ones disguised as politeness, as obedience, as just going along with it. It's not paranoia, it's not weakness, it's awareness. And awareness is dangerous, because once you see, you can't unsee. That day, you stop walking on autopilot. You stop nodding just to keep the peace. You start asking yourself, why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? And the answers sting. They sting because you realize how much of your life has been spent performing for an audience you didn't even audition for. You were placed on a stage without your consent, and the crowd never clapped for you. They were just waiting for you to fall. But you don't fall anymore. Not after you've tasted this clarity. This is the day you decide to step off their stage and build your own. This is the day you take their script and burn it. This is the day you stop being the subject of their story and become the author of your own. When you wake up to the truth, there's no going back to who you were before. And maybe that's the best gift the Watchers ever gave you. They made you see yourself without the lies. They made you understand your worth in a way comfort never could. You can thank them later. For now, you've got work to do. It's not like the movies. There's no red laser dot on your chest, no dramatic shadow in the corner of the room. Living under watch is quieter, slower, like water dripping on stone until it wears a hole right through the center. You wake up and feel it before you even open your eyes. The pressure in the air, the invisible presence in the corners of your life. It's not about physical eyes, it's about the weight of being measured, judged, calculated. Every time you move, there's an invisible ledger where someone is keeping score. They don't need to say a word. You can feel the pen scratching across the page. You start to notice how small you've become, how your steps are shorter, your voice softer, your laughter less frequent. Because when you know you're being watched, you stop living, you start performing. You censor yourself without realizing. You hesitate before acting. You second guess every decision, not because it's wrong, but because you know someone is ready to pounce the second you stumble. And that's their strategy. They don't need to control you directly. They just need to create a world where you control yourself. In their favor, a cage doesn't have to be locked to keep you inside. It just has to make you believe the outside is dangerous. And once they've got you in that mindset, they can sit back and watch you shrink into a smaller and smaller version of yourself. You tell yourself it's not a big deal, that you're just playing it safe, but inside something is dying. The fire you had is fading into smoke. The risks you used to take are replaced by waiting for the right time. And before you know it, you've built your whole life around avoiding judgment. Instead of chasing greatness, living under watch is suffocating because it's invisible. You can't punch it. You can't outrun it. You can't even prove it's there without sounding paranoid. And maybe that's the cruelest part. You start doubting yourself. You start wondering if you're imagining it, but you're not. You feel it because it's real. And yet, here's the truth they never see coming. Being under watch can be a gift if you know how to use it, because while they're studying your every move, you can study theirs. You can watch the Watchers, learn their patterns, predict their trigger, understand exactly what they expect from you, and then twist it, break it, use it to vanish from the version of you they think they understand. When you live under watch long enough, you develop a skill they'll never have. The ability to move in plain sight without being seen, to shift while they're staring right at you, to transform into something untouchable before they even realize you've changed. That's the secret. You don't fight the eyes watching you. You make them blind without ever touching them. It doesn't arrive with a polite knock. It kicks the door in. It doesn't care about timing, about whether you're ready, about whether you have the strength to face it. The breaking point doesn't wait for permission. It shows up when the weight becomes too heavy to carry one more inch. For a long time, you've been swallowing it all. The disrespect, the underestimation, the way they've boxed you in and labeled you like you were some small, predictable thing. You've been walking through fire without screaming, swallowing the smoke until your lungs were heavy with it. And every day you told yourself you could take just a little more, just a little longer, just until things get better. But then one day, you can't. Something inside snaps. It's not rage exactly. It's not sadness. It's something sharper, cleaner. It's the exact second you realize you've been living on your knees for people who wouldn't even bend down to help you if you fell. At first, it feels like defeat. Like maybe they finally broke you. But then you notice the burn in your chest isn't pain anymore. It's power. That moment is dangerous. Because it's the moment you stop caring about their approval. It's when you start seeing the truth. Their opinions were never chains. You just believed they were. And once that belief shatters, nothing can hold you the same way again. The breaking point isn't about destruction. It's about transformation. The old version of you, the one who bent to fit into their narrow view, dies in that instant. And in its place stands something they can't predict, something they can't measure. People think strength is built in the easy times. They're wrong. Real strength is born when you've been dragged to the edge, when your voice has been drowned out, when your worth has been ignored, and you still decide to rise. The breaking point doesn't make you weaker. It burns away everything that kept you small. This is the day you stop playing by the rules they handed you. This is the day you throw their script in the fire and start writing in your own blood, your own ink, your own will. You stop waiting for the right moment and start creating it. You stop hoping they'll recognize your value and start showing them they can't survive without it. That's the thing about the breaking point. It's not the end. It's the birth of the part of you they never wanted to meet. The version that doesn't just fight back, but outthinks, outlasts and outmoves them. And when you reach it, you'll understand why everything had to happen the way it did. You'll see that all the pressure, all the watching, all the judgment was just fuel. Because when you finally explode out of that cage, the world won't be ready for the fire you've become. It doesn't happen under bright lights. It doesn't come with applause or a victory banner waving above your head. No, the shift happens in silence, in places where no one is looking, in hours when the rest of the world thinks you're asleep. One day you stop moving the way they expect you to. You stop reacting to every jab, stop explaining yourself every time someone doubts you. You stop showing your cards altogether, the version of you they thought they knew. Gone. And it's not a loud disappearance, it's like smoke vanishing into the dark. One moment they could trace your steps, the next you're untrackable. That's the power of the shadows. They let you rebuild without interruption. You stop handing out your plans like free samples. You stop announcing your progress like a street performance. Instead, you keep it locked away, out of reach. The shadows become your workshop, your war room, your sanctuary. You start studying everything, not just yourself, but them. The way they speak, the timing of their moves, the patterns in their behavior. You learn the moments they're confident and the moments they're unsure. And in that quiet study, you find their blind spots, the parts of them they'll never admit exist. They're still watching, but it's different now. They lean in harder, squinting, trying to read you. But the problem is, you're no longer speaking in a language they understand. You've changed the rhythm of your steps. You've twisted the melody of your life into something they can't hum along to. And that makes them uneasy. This shift isn't about hiding forever. It's about making sure that when you step back into the light, you're not the same fragile target they remember. You come back sharper, heavier, built from steel instead of glass. You've turned every bruise into armor, every scar into a blueprint. And here's the part that really gets them. The shadows don't just make you stronger, they make you unpredictable. You've become the one thing they can't prepare for. They can't defend against what they can't define. And that's when the fear sets in, not fear of what you've done, but fear of what you might do next. That's the beauty of the shift. You didn't need to confront them to win. You didn't need to shout, fight, or prove yourself in the open. You just needed to change where they couldn't see it happening. And when you finally move again, they'll realize too late that the person they were watching all along no longer exists. By the time they try to catch up, you'll be a ghost in their past and a storm in their future. You don't rebuild in front of them. You don't give them the privilege of watching you rise brick by brick. You rebuild where their eyes can't reach, in the deep hidden corners of your own will. The new you isn't just stronger, it's sharper. Every mistake you made before becomes a tool. Every failure a blade. Every insult a nail in the armor you're forging. You stop seeing your past as baggage and start seeing it as a weapons cache, a stockpile of lessons they'll never have. You become intentional. Every word you speak has weight. Every move you make has purpose. You don't step forward just to be seen. You step forward to make impact. You're no longer chasing validation, you're chasing mastery. And that mastery is being built in silence. In hours where no one claps for you. In days when no one notices the progress except you. You study. Not just books, not just skills. You study people. How they think. How they move. You learn the invisible levers that pull their emotions. The small triggers that shape their choices. You become a student of patterns, a collector of strategy, and slowly the balance shifts. You no longer feel like prey. You're becoming the hunter. But here's the thing about building the new you. It's not just about becoming untouchable. It's about becoming undeniable. You don't want to just survive their judgment. You want to make their judgment irrelevant. You want to move so far beyond their reach that their opinions feel like whispers from another lifetime. The new you doesn't flinch when doubted. Doubt becomes fear. The new you doesn't hesitate when an opportunity appears. Hesitation was the old version's habit, and that version is gone. The new you acts, decides, moves, because you've learned that life doesn't wait for the perfect moment, and neither will you. And when they finally see you again, they won't be looking at the same person they once dismissed. They'll be looking at someone forged in a fire they didn't even know was burning. Someone who can't be cornered, can't be underestimated without consequence. Because the new you doesn't need to announce their arrival. The new you arrives like a storm, quiet at first, but unstoppable once it begins. And deep down they'll feel it, that they had a hand in creating this version of you. Not because they helped, but because they pushed. And now, they'll have to live with the fact that the very pressure they tried to use against you became the reason you became untouchable. You didn't just survive the watch, you built yourself into something they'll never be able to measure, never be able to control, never be able to break again. This journey you've taken isn't just a comeback story, it's a revolution inside your own soul. You weren't made to fit inside the boxes they built around you. You weren't born to be the subject of their quiet experiments or the punchline of their whispered jokes. You were born to break free, to shatter their expectations with the force of your own will. You didn't need their permission to rise. You didn't need their validation to become powerful. Every moment they watched, every doubt they cast your way, every sneer you endured, it was fuel for the fire that burns beneath your skin. A fire they never saw coming but now can't ignore. The silence you carry isn't weakness, it's a loaded weapon waiting for the perfect moment to strike without mercy. The calm you hold isn't peace, it's the eye of the storm, quiet, dangerous, and inevitable. And when you step back into their world, you won't be the same person. You'll be the storm they never prepared for, the force they never understood, the power they underestimated until it was too late. So let them keep watching, let them keep guessing, because the greatest revenge is living well, rising higher, and never giving them the satisfaction of seeing you break. Please like, comment, and subscribe to TWISTMIND if this hit your soul.